Well, see, gas laws, although all of you have gone through all these laws in class, your 9th, 10th class, but a quick revision we can say. So, what are gas laws? So, basically, we have four macroscopic fundamental variable, also called state variables P, V, N, and T. So, a mathematical mathematical relation between relation between PVN and T, PVN and T are known as gas laws. Gas laws, right? So we have different gas laws. So first, I am taking Boyle's law. Boyle's law. A relation between pressure and volume of a gas if T and N are constant. Basically, these four variables are there. All variables are always exist in a system when you take a gas in a system. So, different relations between all these, they are termed as a different gas laws. So, Boyle's law, this a relation between P and V, or you can say effect of pressure P on V, right? So basically Boyle's law tells about the effect of pressure on volume. Okay, so P is inversely proportional to V if T and N are constant. Means P and V are inversely proportional if T and N are constant. So whenever you try to visualize this, you have to make one system first, right? And you always, whatsoever you are writing the formula, that is with respect to some system. Suppose that this is a system. We have taken some gas here. So if we taken some gas in a closed container, so N is constant, and by taking it on a thermostat, so T is constant. So and from here to here, this is volume. And pressure, you know, if this piston is fixed here, or suppose that we here we are putting some clip. Suppose that we have put a clip here. So what is the pressure of this gas? So pressure of this gas is equal to, this is an unknown quantity, but if you want, you can make a relation. Pressure of this gas is definitely equal to, see, atmosphere will apply the pressure on this surface. So P, atmosphere plus there must be some force here. This piston will apply on this clip, because clip can hold this piston. Piston is not free to move here. So definitely some pressure is equivalent pressure is applied by this clip. So we can say here clip, or you can say P external. right? P gas is equal to P external. So, because gas molecule will continuously exert pressure on this system, is this, I mean, piston basically. Although, all three walls also equal pressure they will exert, but we have clipped this piston so that it cannot be moved above. If we remove this, then every time the pressure of gas is equal to the atmospheric pressure. So this external pressure may include atmospheric pressure plus pressure offered by this clip, or pressure equivalent pressure offered by this clip. Okay. And this whole sum of these two I have written here P external, but this is unknown, right? This is unknown. Now see, if we this is initial state of our system. If we take another state of this system, and this time this so this is at state 1, means situation 1. This you can say state 1, because this is a state of my system. N and T are constant, V constant, and P also fixed. Now if the piston pushed down, suppose that here a stronger clip this time required, because we are decreasing the volume, and this is V dash. So, and keeping N and T same, because N is, there is no problem with N, because no gas is leak out, and no gas we have taken from outside. But what about pressure? This time the pressure of gas is also equal to the P atmosphere, but P atmosphere is same. There is no change in both the situation. But this time the clip pressure offered by this clip, some stronger clip is required to hold this piston. So pressure offered by this clip is more. So this P dash gas, this is P dash. So this time again this P dash gas is equal to, we can write P external and this P dash clip, right? This is equation 2. And here all of you are knowing that the P clip first is smaller than P clip dash, second one. So, but external pressure, this sum is external. So this time external pressure increase, so gas pressure also increase, right? So in this way, you should try to visualize your system. Then only you can understood the things, right? So when you increase the external pressure, basically from outside, right? So see, this is P dash external, P dash external, and this is P external, and P external this time is less than P dash external, right? So hopefully all of you are clear in this whole demonstration. So we can write here that P dash is inversely proportional to V dash, right? So this is situation 1, this is state 2, Why this is state 2? Because this is, in this situation all are constant, P, V and T are constant. In this situation also all are constant. So this is, here again N and T are constant. T and N are constant. So you can write here PV is equal to P dash V dash. Similarly, if you want to make one more state, then this is also. So this is called what? Boyle's law. P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2, or PV is equal to, so product of pressure and volume is always constant if N and T are constant, right? So if you see pressure into volume, pressure into volume, you know this is equal to energy. This is equal to energy. If you want, you can see unit of pressure, take the unit of pressure and take the volume, unit of volume, multiply, you will get the unit of energy. So sometimes we can also say that this Boyle's law is basically law of energy conservation, and energy will conserve till the T and N are constant. Means energy depends on what? N and T, not on changing P and V, right? So whatever energy depends on P, obviously when you increase P, that will be cancelled by the decrease in energy by V. Means if energy depends on P and V, although we will see when we will write the expression for energy, then generally we write the expression in terms of N and T, not in terms of P and V. So basically in future also you will get the relation where energy becomes independent of change in pressure and volume. Energy will depends on this T and N, right? So this is called Boyle's law. So Boyle's law, as per Boyle's law, the product of pressure and volume means energy of the system is constant if N and T are constant, right? And how to visualize the pressure and volume of the system, so you can see. And for gases, one very important thing, that for gases, V is the, basically V is nothing but V is the volume of container, volume of container, right? So whenever it is the case of gas, every time you have to visualize volume of container. Volume of gas has no such meaning here, because if you take any amount of gas and large amount of large size container, the gas will homogeneously mix or be present in the whole container. So the container volume is, every time we are reporting here the volume of gas, right? So see P and V, if you want to graphically study of pressure and volume, so you can see various plots you can make between P and V. Now this is mathematics, then there is no chemistry is here, right? So if you want to, right? So this is N and T are constant. So this type of curve, whenever you plot the relation, any variation between pressure and volume, keeping temperature constant. So this is called isotherm. So this is called isotherm. Isotherm. P and V. Suppose that if you but N and T should be constant. So if you take here P and here 1 by V, so you will get this type of relation, right? So see, suppose that here we have some point and here P1, V1, N and T are constant. Here P2, V2. So here also N and T are constant. Similarly, here this P1, 1 by V1 and here P2, 1 by V2, right? And N and T are constant, right? So these are the, I mean, different graphs which you can plot. One more graph you can see here, that this PV versus P. So PV versus P, if you want to see, then again analyze your formula. PV is equal to constant K at N and T, right? So this is, and this magnitude of K depends on N and T. It is independent. K is independent of P or V. So here you have taken PV. PV means you are taking here K and K versus P. So this like this, right? So if you change the, I mean, temperature or quantity of gas, then only this product of PV will change. So see, product of PV, pressure into volume, energy, means we are plotting here energy versus pressure. So if N and T are constant, then energy, I mean, it is independent of P or V. Here you can take V also, P or V, right? So P or V, I mean, energy of given system becomes independent of P or V, right? So these are the different plots which we can make for this Boyle's law, in Boyle's law, right? Now see, one more plot we can see. Mhm. And one more. Suppose that N is equal to 1 mole it is constant, it is given, and this is T1, this is T2, this is T3. So T1, T2, T3. Suppose that now the question is asked, okay, what is the relation between T1, T2 and T3? So is the T1 is equal to T2 is equal to T3, or second one is T1 is more than T2 is more than T3, or T3 is more than T2 is more than T1, right? Suppose that. So how to proceed such type of question? There are two ways. Suppose that if you take this any fixed point on this axis P, any fixed point you can take, make the perpendicular from here to here, and then join this. This is V1, this is V2, this is V3. So see, V3 is greater than V2 is greater than V1 at constant pressure. Pressure is fixed. So T3 is greater than T2 is greater than T1. So in this way you can find the relation, because T and V, temperature and volume, both are directly proportional. So this question may be answered like this, or you can take here fixed point V and draw the perpendicular on this y-axis and get the P1, P2, P3, and with the relation between P and T, you can find the relation between T3, T1 and T2, right? So you cannot say T1 is equal to T2 is equal to T3. This is not correct here. T1 is greater than T2 is greater than T3. This is also not correct. The correct option is this, right? So in this way you can try to solve such type of problems, right? N and T should be constant. Okay. Similarly, if you want, you can make the similar graph, and for this T is constant this time, but N is variable. Suppose that different quantity were taken, then how to interpret this graph? So see, suppose that this time we have taken here N1, here N2, here N3, and this time T is constant. T constant, right? So what should be the relation between N1, N2 and N3? Same, you can use V3 is greater than V2, V3 is greater than V2 is greater than V1, and we know that volume is directly proportional to the number of moles, as we are knowing. If T and P are constant, so by using this relation, this is Avogadro's law, all of you are knowing this. So V3 is greater than V2 is greater than V1, so you can write, so N3 are greater than N2 or greater than N1, right? So in this way you can answer such type of questions, right? Okay. Now see, P is equal to K into 1 by V. So you can take log of both side. So log P is equal to log K plus log 1 by V. So one more relation you can make. And if you plot, see, I'm just giving the idea. All of you know much mathematics more than me, right? So you can see y is equal to mx plus c, equation of a straight line, and this is I mean what intersect, and slope is here 1. So this is log k and slope is 1. So tan 45 you can make angle from this axis, log 1 by v. Right? So in this way you can also write one relation related to the Boyle's law. Similarly, one more relation, suppose that this PV is equal to K if N and T are constant. So if you differentiate this equation, so you will have dP into V plus V dP is equal to 0, we can write. And we can write here what dP into V plus PdV. Right? PdV is equal to 0. So we can write here, or dP by dV plus P by V is equal to 0, or we can write here dP by dV at constant N and T, this is equal to minus P by V, right? Minus P by V, and if you want you can replace this from here in terms of K. So what we can write here, this is equal to minus K by V square, right? So this is important equation basically. What is this? How to read this? Change in pressure per unit volume, right? Change in pressure per unit volume means change in pressure when you are changing the volume by 1 unit. This is simply derivative, right? So in future we will use this relation somewhere if it is required. So these are the different mathematical form of Boyle's law and different interpretation, right? Now see application. You know, for this Boyle's law, we can use this equation for calculating the total pressure. If N and T are constant, we can use this to calculate the size of air bubble at the bottom of the water level, some water level, when it will reaches at the surface or from surface to the bottom, what the change in the volume, all these things we can calculate on the by using this Boyle's law, right? Now see, this is first application, calculation of length of air column. See this, the to save the time I have directly taken this picture. See, this is the initial state. Figure 1 is the you can say state 1 of your system. This is your system, and this is state 1, or you can say initial state of your system. This is state 2, this is state 3, and this is state 4, fourth state, right? N and T you have to assume the constant, because N here air is taken, so there are some air gas molecules are there, here also gas molecules are there, here also gas molecules are there, right? And here also gas molecules are there. So this is the horizontal surface at which this system is kept. Here the gas molecules, they will exert pressure on this surface of mercury here by striking, right? And from here this atmospheric pressure means the molecules outside this tube, they will strike, and see this mercury is stationary here, so whole system is under mechanical equilibrium, right? The whole system is under mechanical equilibrium. Mercury is stable, air column is now stable, and here external pressure. So what you can say in the state 1, in state 1 you can say under equilibrium, because your calculation is always valid under equilibrium, and every measurement of temperature, pressure, whatever variables you are measuring here, all are under equilibrium. So under equilibrium, state 1, you can say that pressure of gas is equal to the pressure of atmospheric. Is it clear to everybody? In this case, the pressure of gas is equal to the atmospheric pressure, because this mercury is stationary and mercury is exerting no pressure on the gas, because this is kept on the horizontal surface. So whatever mg is acting, whatever force is acting, this is downward. So there is no force exerted by this mercury on this air column. So this air column is balanced by this outside air column. So this is the initial state. Pressure of gas is equal to the atmospheric pressure. See, in the question there is no atmospheric pressure is given, so you can take P atmosphere is equal to 1 atm. Now this you can write is equal to 76 centimeter of mercury height, right? 76 centimeter. So in the initial state, figure 1, in the initial state, or state 1 I have written once, so we can use Boyle's law. N and T are constant, so you can write here pressure of gas, pressure of this air basically, into volume, this effective volume is equal to K. At constant N and T, and see, you can write here pressure of gas into cross section area of the tube into this H is equal to K at constant N and T. N and T are constant. Now pressure of gas is equal to 1 atm, because nothing is given, so it is a common pressure 1 atm. So we can take here 76 centimeter. So here you can take 76 centimeter of mercury into cross section area into what is the H here, 12 centimeter, 12 centimeter, right? This is equal to K, equation 1. So Boyle's law, here I have applied Boyle's law. Clear to everybody? So this is under state 1. So I am calculating here, see, find the length of air column. You have to find this length, this L1, this is L2, L3, right? And here this is given 12 centimeter. Okay. So I am calculating here figure 2 and figure 4 and figure 3. This L2 you have to calculate, and this is homework for you. Right? This is homework. So now see, now come to the state 2. Under state 2, see, what is the pressure of gas? Now, see, this is the vertically up, open end vertically up. Here this atmosphere is acting pressure. Mercury also will acting pressure on this. And this gas molecules are striking here. So when you are going to make the calculation under equilibrium, so under equilibrium, the pressure of this air column, which is taken here, that is equal to the pressure offered by this. This is 8 centimeter. In all cases, you have to take this is 8 centimeter mercury length. This is always 8 centimeter. Right? In all cases, there is no increase or decrease. 8 centimeter. Right? So this mercury, you know, this vertical height of mercury, that is also equivalent to some pressure, and here atmospheric pressure. So what is the pressure of this gas? So in state 2, pressure of gas is equal to 1 atm, that is the atmospheric pressure, plus 8 centimeter pressure offered by 8 centimeter vertical height. So you can write 8 by 76 atm, right? See, 76 centimeter of mercury height, Hg vertical height is equal to 1 atm. 1 atm. So 8 centimeter of mercury vertical height is equal to 1 by 76 into 8 atm. So this is this. So you can write here 84 by 76 atm, right? So this is the pressure of the gas. Again apply, this is at equilibrium. So every time you have to do the calculation, all the calculation under equilibrium. Now see, apply Boyle's law. In state 2, what is the pressure? Pressure of the gas into volume is equal to constant K at constant N and T. So pressure of gas is 84 by 76 multiplied by this area, cross section area, that is A, and length is L1. This is equal to K. This is equation 2. So what is the value of K? In both the cases, the value of K is same. So if right hand side is same, so left hand side is also same. So you can write here 84 by 76 ATM into A into L1 is equal to 76 centimeter is equal to 1 ATM. 1 ATM into A into 12 centimeter. This is equation 3. This I have written from equation 1 and 2. So from equation 1 and 2 I have written this. Now you can calculate L1 is equal to 12 into 76 divided by 84, and the unit of this is centimeter, right? See, A cancel, ATM cancel, so L1. So this is equal to, you have to calculate, so it will come 10.85. I have calculated this 10.85 centimeter. So this is the answer in the first case, right? So in figure 2, so this is L1 is equal to 10.85. Now figure 3, you have to calculate this L2 in the homework. I am now calculating this figure 4. So state 4. So in state 4, at equilibrium or under equilibrium, at equilibrium, what is the pressure of the gas? The pressure of the gas is equal to 1 atm plus, see, 1 atm is the pressure offered by this air, because you know pressure of air is always equal whether this is slanting or this is vertical or non-vertical. 1 atm is always atmosphere will apply from this side. But this time mercury will not apply the same pressure because you know mg will act like this is the mg. So this force is not acting on this, so you have to resolve this in the components. So this is 45 degree from this surface, so this component will come at cos 45. So what is the length of this? 8 centimeters, so 8 cos 45, right? So this 1 atm plus 8 into cos 45. So this is the pressure of mercury. Pressure of mercury. Since it is not vertical, therefore I have taken its component which is acting on the gas, air column. And this air is balancing these two, means atmospheric pressure and this mercury pressure. Both are balanced. So 8 cos 45 plus 1 atm is balanced by this. So you can equate like this, right? So this is the pressure. So this 8 into cos 45. So 1 atm plus this 8 by 76. This is atm cos 45. Cos 45. So now you can calculate this. So see, to avoid more calculation, we can see this 8 into cos 45. We can directly take this 8 cos 45. And this ATM we can take 76 centimeters. So 76 centimeter plus 8 into cos 45. This is 0.707, right? 7. So this is equal to 76 centimeter plus unit of this is centimeter. So this is 5.65 centimeter. So this is equal to 81.6 centimeter, right? So now apply the Boyle's law. P1 V1 is equal to P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2 is equal to K. This is S1 and this is S4. State 1, state 4. So initial pressure 76 centimeter into area into 12 centimeter. This is equal to this pressure 81.6 centimeter into area into L3, right? So if you calculate from here, L3 is equal to 11.17 centimeters, right? And this is the answer. So this is the length of air column in case of this figure 4 or state 4, right? And now this you have to calculate what as a homework, figure 3. Clear to everybody? Just apply the Boyle's law here and then calculate the L2. This is L3, so L3, right? So now it is clear the first application of this Boyle's law. Similarly, second application, the second application is the calculation of the volume of air bubble when it moves from bottom of any water level to surface or from surface to, so calculation of size means volume, radius, whatever, size of air bubble. So suppose that some air bubble is here. And air is filled here, and this is immersed in a water. So this is the bottom, water is there. This is the surface of water, this is the surface, and this is the bottom. The water is filled here, and suppose that it is asked what is the size of this air bubble when it obviously the size will increase because here the pressure is more and here the pressure is less. So suppose that this height is h, and it is water is given. So this you can assume is state 1, and this is state 2. Now if this air bubble is moving from bottom to surface, number of moles are constant, and whatsoever gas molecules are there, they were constant, and T we are assuming from our side that is T also constant. So can we apply the Boyle's law on this air bubble here and here? Yes, why not? So if the radius is here R1 and here the radius is R2, so under S1 you can write Boyle's law P1 V1 is equal to K. So this pressure on this definitely involves the pressure of atmosphere. So here in this situation P1 is equal to pressure of this P1 is the pressure of gas, where inside this bubble, that is equal to the atmospheric pressure P atm plus this water column, right? Water column. So rho gh. So you know this we can write rho g into h. This is equation 1, where rho is the density of water. G, this acceleration due to gravity, and h is the height of water length. And 10 meter, approximately 10 meter, and always that will come always constant. So if it is h meter, if it is given in meter, so if you divide this h meter with 10, then you will get directly into the atm, right? But okay, you can use this formula. And what is V1? V1, see, I'm assuming this is a spherical, so 4 by 3 pi r1 cube. So this is the P1 V1. Now come to the S2. Under S2, P2 is the pressure of gas, and this is equal to the P atmospheric pressure only, because this time this is above the water layer. So here only atmospheric pressure will work on this. So under equilibrium, the atmospheric pressure which is acting on this surface, that is countered by this gas molecules, and then this radius becomes stationary. Otherwise this radius will change continuously, right? So since the radius is fixed here, means it is under equilibrium. So inside pressure is equal to the outside pressure, right? So P2 is the pressure of gas, which is equal to the atmospheric pressure 1 atm, and V2 is equal to 4 by 3 pi r2 cube. So this is the P2 V2. So now you can arrange. P1 is the atmospheric pressure is 1 atm, so 1 atm plus h by 10 atm because 10 meters of water column is equal to 1 atm, so h meters is equal to this atm. This is the P1 into 4 by 3 pi r1 cube is equal to 1 atm into 4 by 3 pi r2 cube. So by using this equation, you can calculate whether R1 or R2 or directly volume you can calculate, radius you can calculate, diameter you can calculate. So this is another application, second application, size of air bubble at different hydrostatic level, right? Now the third application is calculation of pressure of gas. Suppose that if some system, I'm not going to draw every time. Suppose that this type of system is given. This type of system is given and it is asked that calculate the final pressure P here. All of you are knowing that here the pressure is P1. Let the volume of this chamber is V1 and volume of this is V2, and this volume is negligible. This connecting volume is negligible. So if it is asked find the final pressure, so V1 and V2, this is a rigid container, so there is no change. Other things are same. So if it is asked, okay, calculate the final pressure here, so you can use Boyle's law. Boyle's law. Right? See, this is state 1 and this is state 2. Okay? Now see, this pressure of this, your system is divided in two parts, right? Your system is divided into two parts. So if you assume this whole system, this complete system as a one system, so you can write here P1 into V1, this, right? This plus this, you can add this energy, you can add P2 V2, this pressure of this V2, this is equal to K. This is equation 1. This is I have written in state 1. N is constant here, N is constant here, and T is constant for the whole system. So N and T are constant. This is state 1. Now this is state 2. See, this is state 2. Under state 2, now this is your whole system is single system. So this time you have to take the total pressure, and you know total pressure is P. And what is the total volume? This time V1 plus V2. V1 plus V2. Right? This time this is V1 plus V2. V1 plus V2. And this connecting volume is negligible. And the total pressure of the system is constant. This is also equal to K, because you know the value of K is depends on N and T, and it is independent of P and V, right? So now you can equate this, and this way you can find out P1 V1 plus P2 V2 is equal to P V1 plus V2. So P is equal to P1 V1 plus P2 V2 by V1 plus V2. So in this way you can calculate the final pressure, right? So this is the third application, calculation of final pressure if N and T are constant. So in this way you can use P1 V1 plus P2 V2, some one chamber is also there, then plus P3 V3 is equal to K, right? So this is the application of Boyle's law. Hopefully it is now clear to everybody, right?